friends, sorry I left you on a little bit of a cliffhanger with that shop with me, but it got way too late. I went to my mom and dad's house and I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock at night. And so I figured it'd be better if we just broke it up and I showed you the haul here right now. Let me tell you first the numbers, because I know you want to know how much I spent, because I spent a lot. Remember, I hadn't been to Costco in a long time, and I haven't gone grocery shopping since December 26th, and today is March 4th. So that is almost 9.5 weeks since I've been into a grocery store to go shopping for personal use for Josh and I. I spent on groceries at Costco $326. For dog and personal use and home items, I spent a total of $256. And my Walmart pickup that I picked up at the end of the day, I spent a total of $124. So remember, these groceries are going to last us more than a month. The fresh produce won't last us more than a month, but some of the bulk stuff I got at Costco is going to last us more than a month. And I'm doing a ton of freezer meals and freezer cooking with a lot of this stuff. My sister-in-law is about to have her first baby here coming up. It's going to be the first baby on my husband's side of the family, and I'm pretty excited. So I asked her what freezer meal she would like me to make for her, so that she can, not so she had to do the work on the research on recipes for me, but because I really want to make sure that she's going to enjoy the recipes that I make for her. So I said, you know, if you've watched my other videos, are there any recipes you want, or any other recipes I've never made? Whatever you want, I'll make it for you. And what she came up with was this list here, and I'm going to tell you what it is. If you want to skip right to the haul, I will leave a timestamp down in the description box, and you can just go skip straight to the haul. So the recipes we're going to be making, particularly for my sister-in-law, and I'll make some for Josh and I as well, is she requested lasagna. She requested a pesto Alfredo tortellini bake, broccoli and beef teriyaki, honey sesame chicken, pizza dough. She likes to have pizza dough in her freezer, and I got a couple other things for that as well. And then for some of the freezer meals we're going to be making for Josh and I, in addition to those, we're going to do an Italian stuffed pepper, because I can use the red sauce. I can make extra red sauce for the lasagna and use that with the Italian stuffed pepper, so I kind of get 2 recipes for one. We're going to do a Mexican chicken and rice, so there'll be black beans, corn, kind of like chicken and rice casserole. We're going to do garlic pork chops in a creamy mushroom sauce. Well, and I put chicken divan on here, but I'm not sure. I guess I might do chicken divan, which is like a chicken and rice casserole, or the Mexican style chicken and rice casserole. I haven't fully decided which one I'm going to do on that yet. And then I also am going to do some stuffed pork chops. I've never made stuffed pork chops before, but I saw pork chops that I needed to get for the creamy mushroom pork chops, and they're really big and thick, and I thought, you know what, I think we're going to try to do, I'm going to make this recipe up probably, or I'll do some Googling. I'm going to look for like a Tuscan style, like spinach and sun-dried tomato, cream cheese, garlic stuffing that we're going to put in the pork chop, and then we can freeze that and then thaw it and then go to bake it, I think. I need to do research on that. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Let's get right into the haul. First off, I got some hot dog buns and some hamburger buns. I can make both of these from scratch, and I do quite often, but sometimes it's nice just to have a convenience food that if I need to make a dinner really quickly, I can pull one of these out, they'll thaw really quickly, and we can have dinner, no problem. I always have hamburger patties in my freezer, and I always have sausages. I have the Polish dogs from the whole hog that I bought, and then I bought some of these, well, I'm kind of skipping ahead, but these are Josh and I's favorite, Adele's. The pineapple bacon, they're sweet and so good, and they were $4 off, so I put one in the refrigerator and I'll put the rest of them in the freezer, and they're fantastic. Since we're right here, I'll go ahead and go over the pork chops. You can see how thick these pork chops are. They're massive, and I haven't bought pork chops in a really long time, but I thought that they were thick enough to stuff, so we're going to attempt that recipe, and then we're going to make the creamy mushroom pork chops as well. Let's talk about the fresh produce that I got at Costco, because this is what I've missed the most in Pantry Challenge. I first got 2 bunches of bananas. I will leave these on the counter and we'll eat them, you know, for snacks and breakfast and things. But as soon as they get a little too brown, I'm going to throw them in the freezer, and they will be for smoothies because I'm completely out of bananas in my freezer. My favorite smoothie is a chocolate peanut butter banana smoothie. So good. It's almost like dessert, and I will put kale powder in it from the kale that we grew last year, and sometimes some collagen powder. And I just use cocoa powder, a ton of cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is so good for you, and it's just a really, really good smoothie. So that's one thing that I ran out of pretty quickly during Pantry Challenge were frozen bananas. I got 2 bags of broccoli for Josh and I to eat. I have been craving a broccoli salad. You know, the one where you put like cranberries and bacon and all the good stuff in it, a raw broccoli salad. And then I also need this for one of the freezer meals we're making, and Walmart did not have any broccoli when I put in my order. So whatever we don't eat in the salad, I'll roast up and we'll have some roasted broccoli for dinner one night. I bought some tortellinis. These are gonna be for the tortellini bake. These are really good. We have had these before. I did buy 2 bags of chips. Chips were one thing we ran out really quickly during Pantry Challenge. I don't stock up on things like this because they're just something we would eat extra of. But I did get this bag. I normally only buy 1 bag, but I bought 2 because this was on sale. It was like $4 off. And it was jalapeno lime. I don't think Josh will like it. I think I'll like it. So I thought it'd be fun to give it a try. And then just some classic tortilla chips. We like this brand. They have good flavor. They're not too salty. One of my goals during Pantry Challenge was to learn how to make my own tortilla chips. I never ended up getting to that. I will still do it, and when we do it, we'll do it together. But I did make homemade tortillas, which is the first step to making homemade tortilla chips, and the tortillas were phenomenal. So I know that, well, I don't know, but I think the homemade tortilla chips will be good too. So at some point, we're still gonna make some homemade tortilla chips together. 2 bags of organic Pete's French roast. I like Pete's coffee. I've never had this one before, but I'm sure it's good because I've never really had a Pete's coffee that I don't like. I do have a coffee grinder and I could grind my own coffee beans. I just don't like dealing with the mess. I'm not that much of a coffee connoisseur that I can really taste the difference, so to me it's just worth buying pre-ground coffee. These next few items are more just for fun. They're definitely not necessities. I saw this and it's pretty good. I definitely had it before, but I'm just so excited for spring and summer that I went ahead and bought some Margarita mix. We're not quite there yet, but I was buying this and just getting excited for that time of year. So got some Margarita mix, 3 bottles of some bubbly, you know, champagne, Costco version. I really like these. They're like $7 each. They're really affordable, so I bought 3 bottles of those. I got 2 bottles of red wine and 1 bottle of white wine. I enjoy drinking wine, but I also cook a lot with wine. So that is what that is for. I did need to get some olive oil. I do have a bunch of extra virgin olive oil in my house, but it's a nicer, more expensive olive oil that I like to use for salad dressings and things of that nature where I'm not cooking. If I'm gonna cook with olive oil, I like to use this, and if I'm gonna make homemade mayonnaise, I like to use this. I ideally like to use avocado oil for mayonnaise, but it's so expensive compared to olive oil. This one has a very, very mild flavor, so it does make a really good mayonnaise. So I went ahead and got that. I got some kombucha. I make my own kombucha, but I don't like the bottles that I have that I'm using to bottle my kombucha. It doesn't get very fizzy, excuse me. And these bottles are my favorite bottles to do my second ferments in. And I took a bunch of time off making kombucha, and so I got rid of my bottles like this. So I got these not only to drink because I like kombucha and I don't have to make it, but also because I want these bottles to do my second ferments in. I don't know why I've had the best luck with these bottles with the second ferment. I have this, like the swing top bottles, and I cannot get them very fizzy. And I like really, really fizzy kombucha. So that was something, unfortunately, I think that box was like $12, $15, which you can make kombucha for fraction of that price. So if you want to know how to make kombucha, I do have a video on it. I can link it down in the description box. But let's get into some other fun things we got. This is a ton of Parmesan cheese. This is probably, let's see, this is probably $100 worth of Parmesan cheese right here. And what I'm gonna do with this is one of these is gonna go into the refrigerator, and we're gonna use this just like we would fresh Parmesan cheese. But these 3 I'm going to freeze dry, and I'm gonna make shelf stable shaky Parmesan cheese. This is real Parmesan cheese from Italy. You know that because if you look at the rind, it's got the stamp on it. This has been aged for 2 years. This is the real deal. When I buy this at my local Kroger, I've said this before many, many times, this is $24.99 a pound. I cannot afford $24.99 a pound. But at Costco, it is still expensive, but it is only $11.99 a pound. So I never buy my real Parmesan cheese anywhere else other than Costco. If you want to know it's the real Parmigiano Reggiano, make sure it has the stamp on the side. All right, next thing, I went ahead and I make my own mayonnaise all the time, but I have seen people talk about this Primal Kitchen mayonnaise. It's made with avocado oil. The ingredients are really, really clean. So I thought, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this a try, because sometimes you just don't want to make your own mayonnaise. And I've been really, really wanting chicken salad lately, so I bought that. I have a ton of butter still in my freezer from the last time I bought the butter from Acre. The butter that I buy from Acre is grass-fed, grass-finished butter. It is so rich and delicious, and it almost has a cheesy flavor to it. And if you put it on roast vegetables or fresh bread, it is so good. I'm telling you, I'm gonna link it. It's so good. But one, it's expensive, and two, I don't want to bake with it because you lose that really good flavor. So I bought some butter from Costco. I really like this flavor of this butter too. I can definitely, I don't know if it's just because I love butter so much, I can tell the difference between the different brands of butter and how they taste. And Costco's butter, I always buy salted because salted butter tastes better. Butter from Costco. So this is going to be more for anytime I'm cooking with it. If I'm putting butter in a recipe, then I'm going to use this butter because I don't want to use my really expensive, high quality, delicious tasting butter in things like cookies or something like that, because you're going to lose a lot of that flavor. And that's what cooking is all about. It's all about making sure you maximize the flavor. I ran out of half and half during Pantry Challenge, so I got one of those. And I need heavy whipping cream because I ran out of sour cream. I just bought some heavy whipping cream from Acre, and I'm going to taste test that and see how it goes. I don't really like all the extra ingredients in this half and half. Oh, this one's actually not that bad. It only has carrageenan in it. Okay, so that's good to know because the ones that I bought at Walmart had a list of all these other ingredients in it. So carrageenan, I think, is a thickener, so it makes this a thicker cream. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into that. But I bought this because the stuff I got at Acre is very expensive, so I just wanted to try it out, and then in the meantime, I'm gonna have this as well. I bought cheese at Acre, some mild cheddar, but this extra sharp white cheddar 2 years from Tillamook is fantastic. I grew up going to the Tillamook cheese factory every year. It's about 2 hours from me, and this extra sharp cheddar cheese is so good. And I haven't actually bought it in a long time because I've been buying all my cheese through Acre, but Acre does not carry an extra sharp cheddar. And sometimes you just want that really extra sharp cheddar. This does not melt very well because it's so dry, because it's so old. So if you want a really, really melty cheddar, then this is not the way to go. But if you want one that packs a punch with flavor, that's the one you want. So I wasn't buying this because it's not organic, because at Acre I can get organic cheese for a great price. It's the same price as this. But, you know, I want this too. So now I have both a nice melty, mild cheddar, an extra sharp cheddar, and Parmesan. So we are good in the dairy department. The last few things I bought at Costco are these household items and dog items. These dog food bags were $38, and I bought 2 of them. I always like to have 2 dog food bags, an extra one just in case, just like I have extra chicken food. I have a pantry for Josh and I like to have a little extra dog food. And I also keep dog food upstairs and downstairs so we can feed them wherever we are. We ran out of Cascade dishwasher tabs during Pantry Challenge, so I had to run and get a little thing at the store, but I wanted to get a big thing at Costco, so now we have enough. We have 2 packages. I always want to have 2 packages, and I didn't plan that well for Pantry Challenge. I got some laundry detergent. I did buy that laundry detergent from Acre. I like it, Josh likes it, but it's not scented, and Josh likes something with a scent, so this is what I used to buy, so I bought him this. And then we needed Jet Dry, nothing too exciting. This was what was really expensive. My dogs, when they go to daycare, I always like to treat them with fleas just in case, or not daycare, but when we go out of town and when they are at the borders with other dogs, I just always like to treat them. And this was a pretty good price because it was 8 for $70, and so that is cheaper than if I buy it through my vet. But yeah, this was almost $80 for this, and this will last us a long time. I don't prophylactically give this to them every single month. It's just if they've been at the borders around other dogs, then they get treated. We needed ibuprofen. These are my favorite gardening gloves. I do have some left from last year because last year I bought 2 packages. I like these because they're cheap, or I think this was on sale, so it was like $6.99 for all of these gloves, and I can throw them in the wash. I do not like having dirty hands when I garden, so every time I use them, I throw them in the wash and they last a good long time. I do not like the shampoo and conditioner I bought last time at Costco. These were on sale. They smell like summer. They smell fantastic, so I thought I'd give these a try before buying extra. Normally I buy 2 at a time, but I didn't like what I bought last time, so I only bought 1 of each. And last but not least, at Costco, I got some toilet paper. Not super exciting. So that's the household haul. It doesn't look like that much, but wow, was that kind of pricey. So let's get into the grocery haul from Walmart. First off, I went ahead and I got some cranberry juice. I got these little ones. They were a little bit more expensive than getting the big one, but if you open a big one, then you kind of have to drink the whole thing. And so because I use these as mixers, I thought that this was a way better option because I don't have to open an entire big thing of cranberry juice. And I should have done the same thing with orange juice, but I went ahead and got a thing of orange juice. We got some oven ready lasagna noodles. These are my favorite lasagna noodles, and these are for the freezer meal. Just a gallon of milk. I still have milk in my freezer, but I just bought this for convenience reasons so that I didn't have to worry about thawing it to get ready for the freezer meals. We got some zucchinis. I've been really wanting zucchini the last 2 weeks. I normally don't buy zucchini I normally don't buy zucchini because I have so much of it in the summer because the zucchini plants are so prolific. But I really wanted zucchini, so I went ahead and bought 4 of them. Those will be gone super quickly. We'll eat those really fast. One dinner, Josh and I can eat 4 zucchini. We got some cauliflower. We like to eat roasted cauliflower. That's just for a side dish for dinner for us. These are for my sister-in-law for the pizza. She likes pepperoni pizza, so I went ahead and got those for her. So I'll package those up when I send her freezer meals. The mushrooms, this is for the pork mushroom cream sauce. These bell peppers are for the stuffed peppers. I'll cut these in half before I stuff them. So I'll get 12 servings of peppers out of these 3 peppers. Some celery. I've been really wanting chicken salad, and I have to have celery and red onion in my chicken salad. So I went ahead and got 2 things of celery. And then I also think I'm probably going to make some jambalaya sometime this week because I do still have a ton of chopped peppers in my freezer and celery, peppers, and I actually really like to make jambalaya with these sausages, even though they're not andouille sausage, which is traditional in jambalaya. The sweetness of these, it adds, and then you add Tabasco sauce and you add hot sauce, so you add that spicy flavor, but then you get this really like sweet sausage. Oh, it's so good. It's one of Josh and I's favorite meals. I'll have to make it for you guys because it's so easy and it's so good. We have some fresh lemons, and I bought 4 things of fresh cilantro, 2 things of fresh parsley, and 2 cabbages. I bought a red cabbage and a green cabbage. These will last in my fridge a really long time, so I always like to have cabbage in my refrigerator. If you want to learn how to like stretch your grocery shopping out, it's learning what produce goes bad the fastest. So out of these, I would eat these in order. If I wasn't cooking them in freezer meals and things, I would eat the zucchinis first, then the peppers, then the cauliflower, then the celery, then the cabbage. Because cabbage can last and carrots can last in your fridge for a month, no problem, if you buy them when they're fresh. I mean, I guess it depends on how fresh they were in your grocery store, but if you package them up properly and store them properly, they'll store really well in your refrigerator for a long time. And I can get this parsley and cilantro to last for at least a week and a half in my fridge. I wrap it up in a paper towel and then I put it back in this bag. The paper towel is not wet, it is dry. What that does is it allows the moisture to be absorbed in the paper towel when needed, and then if the plant needs the moisture, it can reabsorb it. So that is how you can get herbs to last a long time in your fridge as well. I cook with a ton of fresh herbs generally. Pantry challenge, that was probably one of the hardest things that I did not have, is because you can't get herbs to last more than a week and a half in your fridge, fresh herbs. And so I really missed having that. In the summer, it's no big deal because there's always fresh herbs coming in out of my garden. But right now, doing a pantry challenge and not being able to get fresh herbs, that was very hard on me. I really like to cook with fresh herbs. They're not super expensive. Well, I shouldn't say that. Parsley and cilantro aren't super expensive to buy at the store, and they will really amplify the flavor of anything you're cooking with. To buy the chives, rosemary, sage, those basil, those herbs in the winter are extremely expensive to buy. So that's why I try to grow those as much as I can. But parsley and cilantro are pretty affordable. I think they were about 54 cents each, so pretty affordable. So for how much flavor benefit you get from them, I think it's worth the price. I bought some vodka because we are going to be making elderberry tincture, so we need vodka to do that. I bought my elderberries, dried elderberries, through my last Azure haul. And then here I got some carbonated water. This was one thing that I did run out of during Pantry Challenge, so I used my SodaStream a few times, but in general I really prefer the canned stuff. This is definitely a splurge item for me. And then I got one bag of large elbow macaroni because I might make some macaroni and cheese for a freezer meal for my sister-in-law. It just depends on everything and how much we get to, but she did put that on her list of things she would like as well. That felt like a lot, and I feel like it's been a long time since we've done a grocery haul together, but I think that this represents a lot of freezer meals that are going into our freezer. It represents restocking the pantry on some items that we used down during the Pantry Challenge. And so I'm super happy and excited to have these items back in my house. If you want to watch my Azure haul where I go over what the Pantry Challenge was and why I did it, what I learned, would I do it again, I'll put that video right here and you can kind of get a better idea of what I'm talking about during this grocery haul if you missed that video. If you want to see me cooking with a bunch of this stuff, I'll put some cooking videos down here. You can go enjoy those. I hope you enjoyed this. This represents a lot of freezer meals for me, my sister-in-law. It represents restocking the pantry on things that we ran out of during this Pantry Challenge. And it also represents some fun things that we're going to be doing, like that elderberry tincture. I hope if you are new around here, you consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the fun adventures we're going to be going on together, because you're going to be with me when we make these freezer meals and when we do that elderberry tincture. If you know anyone that would enjoy this, please go ahead and consider sharing it with them, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye guys.